Wake up sleep deprived. Scroll for 30 minutes. Stuff some sugary cereal in your mouth before leaving the house. Get to school late. Play Clash Royale in all your lessons. Get home tired. Crash down on the couch. Watch Netflix. Scroll. Late night caffeine-induced burst of productivity. Go to sleep late. Repeat. This is how the average student lives. This is your competition, which is why I think it's actually pretty easy to get ahead of 99% of students. What is the most valuable skill of the 21st century? Your mind might jump straight to AI, coding, content creation. These all might be right, but I think there is one skill that makes all of these possible in the first place. Focus. Why? Well, short form content is everywhere. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, bro, even Spotify has short form content now. And all the latest scientific research clearly shows that short form content consumption decreases your attention span, so you can't focus anymore. When we scroll through short form content for hours and hours, you're training your brain to look for the instant pleasure. Like if you're scrolling and you see some boring reel, then straight away you have the option of just scrolling to the next and the next. We're clearly teaching our brain, if you feel bored, you can just go and switch onto something else. But when you sit down to study, this is the exact opposite of what you need. You need to be able to focus on the textbook or on your teacher, because that is how you actually make real progress. So why does all of this mean that focus is the most valuable skill? Well, let's be real, almost everyone uses short form content. So 99% of students spend hours every single day destroying their focus, their attention, and they don't even realize it's happening. So if we can go in the other direction, if we can push back and actually improve our focus, you will instantly be ahead of everyone else. If you can even sit down for 30 minutes and focus at 100% intensity without zoning out, without checking your phone, you will already be part of this elite top 1% group of students. This is your superpower, and this is how you can stand out from the rest. And this video will show you exactly how to do that. So there are 3 steps to unlocking elite level focus on command. The first 2 you might have heard of some of the stuff before, but they're very useful just to go through one more time. But step 3 is something I've never heard any of these productivity study tubers talk about before. So it could be the one thing that makes all the difference for you. Step 1, the foundation. These are the basics of focus, the fundamental lifestyle factors that might seem a little bit boring, but if you're missing even one of them, everything else just falls apart. These are like the big blocks on the bottom of the pyramid. So there are 3 main factors that affect focus. 1 is short form content consumption. It's pretty obvious after everything I've said about how it destroys your focus, your attention span. So definitely you should focus on reducing how much you consume short form content. But I suggest not just completely eliminating it, at least not straight away, but actually replacing it with longer form content. That doesn't destroy your attention span as much. So watching slightly longer YouTube videos like this one, for example, listening to podcasts, audiobooks, reading books, watching documentaries, just stay off the TikTok. 2, sleep. Everyone knows, yeah, I should probably sleep a bit more. But what most people don't realize is just how much sleep can affect your focus and ultimately your grade. Studies show that if you just reduce your sleep to 6 hours a night for several days, your mental performance can decrease by 10 to 20%. And you might think, well, that's not really that much. But if I had a pill that I could give you that would instantly add 20% to your grade, you'd rip my hand off. That could be like 3 grades difference. There's a lot you can go into here. You could go into a whole rabbit hole trying to optimize sleep, but really just make sure you're getting between 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and make sure you go to sleep and wake up at about the same time every single day. And then 3 is diets. The dumbest mistake most people make when it comes to the food they eat is they focus on the wrong things. First, they just focus on what tastes good. But then if you're a little bit more basic, if you've been trying to be healthy or going to the gym, you might focus on the macros, the protein, the calories, whatever. But most people stop there. What nobody ever thinks about is how the food you eat affects how you feel, how you perform mentally and physically. There's so much I could go into here again, but really deep down you know what food is healthy for you or not. Next time you eat some shit food, you eat some weird snacks, some Pop-Tarts or some pizza, actually pay attention to how it makes you feel. And you'll realize that you feel sluggish, you get this weird brain fog, you don't feel sharp. So just eat cleaner foods, at least for like 80% of what you eat should be clean foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, fish, meats, and hydrate well. And if you just stick to mostly that, you'll be fine. Step 2, removing external triggers. So what's an external trigger? It's anything in your environment that can disrupt your focus. And I mean anything. Most people underestimate just how much of an impact external triggers actually have on your phone. Like, you think if your phone went off with a notification, say you got a message from a friend, you think, okay, well, just to go look at the message and quickly reply and put my phone away, that'll be like 30 seconds, right? That can't mess up my focus that much. Well, studies show that actually just doing that, just one interruption of checking your phone, it can take you up to 15 minutes to get back to the level of focus that you were at before. Because it's not actually just replying to the message. That might be really quick, but then even if you don't look at the message, even if you just hear the notification sound, then you're thinking, oh, who sent that message? Who is it? Was it this? Was it that? What are they talking about? Maybe she finally texted me back. It's all this rumination, all these thoughts that take you like 15 minutes to get back to where you were at before. And that's just one distraction. In a more realistic scenario for most students, say your phone went off with a notification, then your mom walked in to say something, and then somebody called you, and then your dad shouted something from downstairs. Bro, you're never getting back to the maximum level of focus. So there are 3 tricks I like to use to stop this. 1, turn off all notifications on your phone from every app. You don't need notifications. Trust me, you might think this is some like you're gonna miss some emergency or whatever. I've had my notifications turned off for nearly 2 years, and my life hasn't got worse at all. If anything, it's got a lot better. Instead of always looking at the notifications, just check the app when you want to check the app. Like sometimes I just think, okay, let's go check my WhatsApp messages. And I go do them all in one go. I batch process them. And this way, that WhatsApp message or those Instagram messages don't come into other parts of your life. They stay in that little box that you have reserved just for that. And then you also feel like kind of a big deal because all your messages stack up. 2, get rid of your phone. When you're studying, put that shit on do not disturb, on airplane mode. Go throw it out your window for all I care. We're not using that shit. I have like this bunk bed sort of thing. That's where I sleep, up there. So I just like chuck my phone onto there, just because it makes it a little bit difficult. I have to like climb up to go and get it back. And basically what we're doing this for is to add a little bit of friction, a bit of resistance to going and grabbing your phone. 3, tell everyone in your house. You know how halfway through your studying, your mom might come in and start hanging stuff in your wardrobe, or your dad asks you to go and like help him with something? That's all cool, but it's really bad for your focus. So what I do before a study block like this, you can't just like ignore your parents, right? I go downstairs and I say to my mom or whoever, I say, okay, I'm gonna go study for the next 90 minutes. Is there anything that you need me to do just so I don't get interrupted, just so I can do it now? And then if they say like, yeah, go take out the bins or vacuum the house, I'll go do that, get that out of the way, and then they know that I'm studying for the next 90 minutes and they won't come in and interrupt. If you think of anything else, let me know in the comments. It might help some other people. I know some people like to wear like noise cancelling headphones, maybe like a website blocker on your computer. These are just the 3 steps that I like to use. And then step 3, mastering internal triggers. Why do we do what we do? What motivates human behavior? The obvious answer that we hear all the time is reward, greed, more money, more status. But the science shows that it's actually something else. Almost all human behavior is driven by a desire to escape discomfort. When you feel a negative emotion, you distract yourself from it so you can escape. When you're doing that maths question, you get really frustrated that nothing that you're trying is working. What do? Your brain automatically wants to go grab that phone and open Instagram so that you can escape, to distract you from this negative emotion of frustration. This sort of distraction cycle from negative emotions is completely normal, it's natural. And when you start looking around, you can really see this everywhere. So much of what we do is just so that we can escape discomfort, uncomfortable emotions. And it's these internal triggers that actually cause something like 90% of our distraction. So what do we do about it? Here are the 3 steps to master your internal triggers. 1, awareness. Next time you sit down to try and study and you realize that you've got distracted, just stop and ask yourself, what was the emotion I was feeling just before I distracted myself? Was it frustration? Was it boredom? Was it something else? And then grab a piece of paper and write down that emotion and what you think caused it. Was it because I couldn't get this question? Was it because I feel anxious that this assignment deadline is coming up? Just write this down on a piece of paper and leave that for later. And then after you finish your block of studying, you should realize that you've got this piece of paper with a few different distractions. Then try and see, are there any patterns? Is there anything that consistently causes me to always be distracted? And if you can like brainstorm or start to think of any ideas to solve them, then start implementing them. For example, maybe you distracted yourself by opening some random website because you felt anxious. You felt like you were running out of time to cover all the content before your exam. So here a solution could be to plan out your studying over the next couple of weeks so that you know that you have time to do everything. But sometimes there isn't an obvious solution to this negative emotion. And that's when we need the next 2 techniques. 2, surf the urge. This is a technique that smokers are taught to resist their urges, but it can also help beat cravings for distraction. So next time you feel this urge to distract yourself, tell yourself, yes, okay, fine, I can give into this urge, but just not now. I'll do it in 10 minutes. You're basically procrastinating, distracting yourself. And then in the meantime, really try to feel that urge, the physical sensations that it causes. Feel that like weird tingle in your stomach or in your fingers, that rise in body temperature. Really focus on these sensations. Become really aware of them. And what you're doing by delaying this for 10 minutes is you're teaching your body that it can resist these urges, that it doesn't have to give in straight away every time, even if it's just for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, usually what happens is that you actually don't want to do that anymore. You literally forgot about it and you're focused on your work again. You've literally gaslighted yourself into staying focused. And then step 3, the leaf visualization. This will sound really like wishy-washy, but trust me, it works so well. Next time you feel this urge to distract yourself, just visualize this image of a few leaves floating down a stream of water, and then get this urge, place that negative emotion onto one of the leaves, and just watch it float away. This is a way of practicing something called mindfulness, which basically gives you the ability to like observe your emotions from like a third person point of view. And you realize that you can look at them, you can have these emotions without having to listen to them. And this mental image, you won't have to do this for the rest of your life, but what it does is it gradually trains your mind to just let go of these negative feelings, of these urges, so you can stay focused and never get distracted again. So that's how you unlock elite focus. 1, build the foundation by reducing short form content, sorting out your sleep and your diet. 2, remove external triggers on your phone and in your environment. And 3, master your internal triggers by tracking them, surfing the urge, and doing this leaf visualization. Hopefully this video helped. Go get it, go get those grades, and I'll see you in the next one.